Deeds and title transfer questions. Question 1. Which answer states the concept associated with an agreement giving a holder the right, but not the obligation, to buy or lease under stated terms within a fixed period in the contract revision described? Option A. A specific performance. Option B. Voidable contract. Option C. Rescission. Option D. Option contract. The correct answer is option D. Option contract. Separate consideration commonly supports the promise not to revoke. The owner must keep the opportunity open during the option term. Exercise must strictly comply with the method and deadline stated in the agreement. Question 2. A property manager handling a duplex in Towson must identify direct knowledge of a fact or claim affecting property. Which choice is correct? Option A. Actual notice. Option B. Constructive notice. Option C. Price fixing. Option D. Time minus in arrangement. The correct answer is option A. Actual notice. The information may come from documents, statements, observation, or personal awareness. Both direct and record-based notice can affect purchaser rights. A person with direct knowledge cannot rely on failure to record as though the issue were unknown. Question 3. During a marketing review for a warehouse in Gaithersburg, Amina needs to identify the rule described as an agreement containing competent parties, lawful objective, offer and acceptance, consideration, and required formalities. Which answer applies? Option A. Time is of the essence. Option B. A valid contract. Option C. Unilateral contract. Option D. Exclusive agency listing. The correct answer is option B. Valid contract. Some real estate agreements must also satisfy writing and signature requirements. A binding agreement requires mutual assent to definite terms and legally sufficient consideration. The parties must have capacity and the purpose cannot violate law or public policy.
Stressed about your CNA? We can take CNA for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee a pass and payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done.
Question 4. A salesperson is reviewing a townhouse in Bowie. Which term describes federal disclosure duties for most residential property built before 1978? Option A. Megan's Law Notice. Option B. CERCLA. Option C. Lead-based paint disclosure. Option D. A constructive notice. The correct answer is option C. Lead-based paint disclosure. Purchase contracts generally include a lead warning statement and an opportunity for qualifying buyers to conduct a risk assessment or inspection. The rule does not require the owner to remove all lead before transfer. Sellers and landlords must provide required information, available records, and the federal hazard pamphlet. Question 5. At a lease negotiation, a Michigan exam candidate encounters the following description: an agreement with no legal effect from the beginning. Which concept is being tested? Option A. Lease. Option B. Novation. Option C. Exclusive right to sell listing. Option D. Void contract. The correct answer is option D. Void contract. This differs from a contract that is valid unless a protected party chooses to avoid it. Later approval ordinarily cannot cure an agreement that was never legally valid. No party can enforce an arrangement that lacks a fundamental legal requirement or has an illegal purpose. Question 6. Rena is assisting with a single-family home transaction in Marquette. Which principle applies when the facts involve a buried container that can create soil and groundwater contamination risk if it leaks? Option A. Underground storage tank. Option B. Antitrust law. Option C. Quitclaim deed. Option D. Americans with Disabilities Act. The correct answer is option A. Underground storage tank. Former heating-oil or fuel tanks may require investigation and regulatory compliance. Visual inspection alone may not reveal the tank or contamination. Environmental professionals should evaluate suspected conditions. Question 7. Which answer most accurately identifies information that could influence a reasonable person's decision about a transaction in a real estate transaction? Option A. Accounting duty. Option B. Material fact. Option C. Customer. Option D. Confidentiality duty. The correct answer is option B. Material fact. The importance of the fact depends on its effect on value, desirability, safety, or bargaining. Known significant defects in transaction conditions must be disclosed when law requires. Confidential motivation is treated differently from a material property condition. Question 8. A question arising during due diligence meeting concerns something of legal value exchanged to support a contract. Which choice gives the best classification? Option A, buyer representation agreement. Option B, void contract. Option C, a consideration. Option D, executed contract. The correct answer is option C, consideration. The exchange can consist of money, a promise, an act, or forbearance. Earnest money may evidence seriousness but is not always required for contract validity. Courts generally examine legal sufficiency rather than whether the bargain was economically equal.
Are you looking for CNA actual questions? Visit our website pokerexams.com to access CNA study guide with actual questions and answers. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description to get CNA answer key today.
Question 9. While analyzing a retail suite, Kara must apply the concept involving transfer of contractual rights from one party to another. Which answer should be selected? Option A, option contract. Option B, exclusive agency listing. Option C, liquidated damages. Option D, assignment. The correct answer is option D, assignment. Notice helps protect the transferee and the party who must perform. The original party transfers a benefit but may remain responsible for obligations unless released. The contract or law may restrict the transfer of contractual rights when personal performance is important. Question 10. Which real estate term is defined by a court proceeding used to resolve competing claims and establish ownership rights? Option A, quiet title action. Option B, actual notice. Option C, title insurance. Option D, material defect disclosure. The correct answer is option A, quiet title action. Interested parties must receive proper notice and an opportunity to be heard. The procedure is different from title insurance, which shifts covered financial risk. The judgment can remove invalid claims and clarify the state of title. Question 11. In a transaction involving a mixed-use property, which rule controls when there is the contract stating the buyer's and seller's obligations for transfer of identified real property? Option A, counteroffer. Option B, purchase agreement. Option C, novation. Option D, option contract. The correct answer is option B, purchase agreement. The agreement remains subject to applicable disclosure and writing requirements. Contingencies, closing duties, risk allocation, and default remedies should be clearly expressed. Essential terms include the parties, property, price, and material conditions. Question 12. A buyer representative asks about a court remedy ordering a party to carry out contractual duties. Which answer provides the legally accurate concept? Option A, a net listing. Option B, option contract. Option C, specific performance. Option D, unilateral contract. The correct answer is option C, specific performance. The remedy is available when money damages are inadequate and the agreement is sufficiently definite. Real estate is considered unique, which can support this relief in a purchase dispute. Equitable defenses and the claimant's own performance affect availability. Question 13. Quinton encounters a summarized history of recorded documents affecting a parcel during a contract revision. Which principle should guide the analysis? Option A, Megan's Law Notice. Option B, Special Warranty Deed. Option C, Group Boycott. Option D, Abstract of Title. The correct answer is option D, Abstract of Title. An attorney or title professional examines the information to evaluate marketability. The document identifies conveyances, liens, and other recorded matters in the chain of title. It is not itself an insurance policy against undiscovered defects. Question 14. Which choice best matches the description a written contract defining the broker's duties, scope of representation, term, and compensation for a buyer-client? Option A, buyer representation agreement. Option B, a net listing. Option C, contingency. Option D, unenforceable contract. The correct answer is option A, buyer representation agreement. The agreement establishes agency and explains how the broker will be paid. The buyer and licensee must understand potential compensation from other transaction participants. It should address exclusivity, termination, and the property or market covered. Question 15. During review of a condominium unit in Silver Spring, the parties discuss an agreement accepted through completion of the requested act rather than a return promise. Which term applies? Option A, a net listing. Option B, unilateral contract. Option C, purchase agreement. Option D, novation. The correct answer is option B, unilateral contract. The exact formation rules depend on the offer terms and applicable law. The offeror seeks performance as the method of acceptance. An option can create a one-sided obligation because the owner must keep the offer open while the holder may choose whether to exercise. Question 16. An exam scenario presents an otherwise valid agreement that a court will not enforce because of a legal defense. Which answer is most accurate? Option A, buyer representation agreement. Option B, contingency. Option C, unenforceable contract. Option D, executed contract. The correct answer is option C, unenforceable contract. The underlying promises may have been lawful and supported by consideration. This status differs from an agreement that was void at formation. A missing required writing or expiration of a limitations period can prevent judicial enforcement. Question 17. A licensee preparing for a lease negotiation must recognize an arrangement in which the owner sets a desired net amount and the broker keeps the excess as compensation. Which concept does this describe? Option A, a specific performance. Option B, a lease. Option C, novation. Option D, a net listing. The correct answer is option D, net listing. A licensee must follow state law and fiduciary duties rather than assume it is permitted. Many jurisdictions prohibit or restrict this arrangement. The structure creates a serious conflict because the broker benefits from a larger spread rather than a transparent fee. Question 18. Which answer correctly classifies a situation involving a person who has entered into an agency or brokerage agreement for representation in the pre-listing meeting described? Option A, client. Option B, agency by ratification. Option C, implied agency. Option D, subagent. The correct answer is option A, client. The representative owes fiduciary obligations defined by law and the agreement. Compensation alone does not necessarily determine who is represented. The relationship should be disclosed so other parties understand the licensee's role.
Stressed about your CNA? We can take CNA for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee a pass and payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done.
Question 19. At a title examination in Colombia, Caleb explains a claim, defect, or apparent encumbrance that creates uncertainty about ownership. Which real estate principle is involved? Option A, quiet title action. Option B, cloud on title. Option C, Fair Housing Act. Option D, a quitclaim deed. The correct answer is option B, cloud on title. Release, correction, or court action may be needed to clear the record. The issue can interfere with sale, financing, or issuance of title coverage. A title search is designed to identify many such problems before closing. Question 20. A transaction file for a vacant parcel raises an issue involving a licensee engaged to represent the owner in marketing and negotiating a property. Which answer best resolves the classification? Option A, special agent. Option B, a disclosure duty. Option C, seller's agent. Option D, the agency by ratification. The correct answer is option C, seller's agent. The representative seeks lawful terms favorable to the owner and must protect the owner's confidential information. The agency relationship should be established and disclosed in writing. Known material facts still must be disclosed as required to buyers. Question 21. Which concept should an associate broker apply to facts involving an agreement that remains enforceable unless a party with a legal right elects to rescind? Option A, unenforceable contract. Option B, a lease. Option C, option contract. Option D, avoidable contract. The correct answer is option D, voidable contract. The other party cannot automatically treat the agreement as non-existent. The protected party may affirm or reject the transaction depending on the circumstances. Fraud, duress, or lack of capacity can create this status. Question 22. Samuel is studying a rule concerning the federal law establishing liability and cleanup authority for releases of hazardous substances. Which term should be chosen? Option A, CERCLA. Option B, Environmental Site Assessment. Option C, Fair Housing Act. Option D, Underground Storage Tank. The correct answer is option A, CERCLA. Liability can extend beyond the person who originally caused the contamination. Environmental due diligence may support statutory defenses for qualifying purchasers. Potentially responsible parties can face substantial cleanup obligations. Question 23. When a waterfront parcel transaction involves an agent authorized to act broadly in nearly all matters for the principal, which answer identifies the controlling concept? Option A, customer. Option B, universal agent. Option C, designated agency. Option D, material fact. The correct answer is option B, universal agent. Most real estate licensees serve under narrower special authority. A comprehensive power of attorney may create such authority. This level of authority is uncommon in ordinary brokerage representation. Question 24. A practice question describes a physical change to housing needed by a person with a disability. Which response is best in the settlement preparation described? Option A, cloud on title. Option B, steering. Option C, reasonable modification. Option D, market allocation. The correct answer is option C, reasonable modification. The resident may be permitted to install accessibility features subject to lawful conditions. Responsibility for cost and restoration depends on the housing type and applicable law. The request should be evaluated individually rather than rejected by a blanket rule. Question 25. During a contract revision, which principle is illustrated by a representation relationship created by written or oral agreement? Option A, client. Option B, universal agent. Option C, fiduciary duty. Option D, express agency. The correct answer is option D, express agency. Real estate licensing law often requires the brokerage agreement to be written. The parties intentionally state that the agent will act for the principal. The scope of authority is determined by the agreement and applicable law.